Today we will study the next chapter of this subject, that is flow through pipes. Okay. So what is there in this chapter that we will or that I will tell you in a very short. Okay. So what is the flow through pipe? Okay, generally we see water flows either from the pipes or from the canals. Okay, the canals could be the structures that are across or along the boundaries of the farms. Okay, and pipes are nothing but if you want to bring water from some point to another point, then we will have to use the pipes. Okay, the basic difference in the flow through pipe and flow through channel is that the channel or water flowing through the channel, it will have the atmospheric pressure. Okay, and the water flowing through the pipe, it will have pressure greater than the atmospheric pressure. So this is the basic difference in the flow through pipe and flow through a channel, or you can say flow through a canal. Okay, canals are nothing but the structures that you see in the or in the farms. Okay, during the development of agriculture, the government have developed those structures near to the farms. Okay, so in this chapter we are mainly focusing on the flow through pipes. Okay, our study of interest is nothing but flow through the pipe. Okay, so what will happen if the water is flowing through the pipe? Okay, so pipe will have a specific diameter. Okay, then pipe will have certain length, correct? Then pipe will have different materials. For example, in the previous ages or in the previous decades, we generally used the pipes that are made up of GI. Okay, or sometimes cast iron or galvanized iron. Okay, GI means galvanized iron, and sometimes we have used the cast iron as a material of the pipe. Okay, nowadays we see the material of pipe as plastic. Okay, there are different types of plastic, that is PVC pipes are there, then UPVC, CPVC pipes are there. Okay, so the material of the pipe is different nowadays. Okay, and if you consider or if you see the pipes in the previous decade or couple of decades ago, so the material of pipe was generally cement concrete. Okay, right now also you can see the pipes that are made up of cement and concrete. Okay, the pipelines that are provided underground, those are made up of the cement concrete. Okay, or those were made up of the cast iron. Okay, so what will happen if the pipe if the water is flowing through the pipe, then what will happen? Okay, so pipe will have definite or fixed diameter, then it will have certain length. Okay, then the internal surface of the pipe, that will also again carries some importance in this flow through pipe chapter. Okay, so we will discuss one by one later in this chapter. So right now there are two types of flow. Okay, so flow through pipes, generally you can see, so the first diagram is nothing but the flow through pipe. Okay, the if the water is flowing or water is running along the length of the pipe, then we can call it as the flow through pipe. Okay, the basic difference is that it will have pressure greater than the atmospheric pressure, and flow through channels or flow through canals will have pressure which is equal to the atmospheric pressure. Okay, Then again next part is there, or next difference is there. The flow through pipe will have it won't have any free surface, okay. And on the contrary, you can see the flow through canals or flow through channels will have the free surface of water, okay. So up to the half or up to the quarter or up to the 3/4 of the pipe section, you can see some water is there and remaining part is empty. Empty is nothing but it will have the air, okay, or air pressure it will have, okay. So if sometimes if the water is not flowing or the pipe is not flowing completely or it is not running with full of water, then you consider that pipe as a flow through channel or that flow as flow through channel, okay. So this is, or these are the differences in the flow through pipes, okay. So we will discuss the differences between flow through pipe and flow through channel, okay. So the first difference, when the fluid passing through the pipe runs full, then it is flow through the pipe, or we can call the pipe is flowing through the pipe, okay. Second or first point for the flow through channel is that when the fluid passing through the pipe does not run full, okay, then it is called as flow through channel, okay. In the previous slide you have seen that this first diagram, in the first diagram the water is completely flowing or pipe is completely in contact with the water, and in the second diagram you see the half part of that pipe is filled with water and in the half part you can see air is present, okay. So this type of flow we call it as the flow through channels, okay. Then next difference is that it does not have any free surface, okay. On the contrary, the flow through channels will have free surface, okay. The common example of channels is nothing but our rivers, okay. Rivers will have two lateral sides, then one base is there and there is no the top surface, there is the absence of the top surface, okay. So that type of flow we call it as the flow through the channels. The next point, for the flow through pipes, it has pressure more than the atmospheric pressure, okay. And in the flow through channels, the water flowing through the channels, it will have the atmospheric pressure, okay. So examples are again the same. So you can see, so this is flow through pipe, again this is flow through channel and this is flow through channel, okay. If water is flowing and the water if it is having the free surface, then we call that water as it is, or we call that flow as the flow through channels, okay. Then the next part, that is types of fluid flow, okay. So there are generally 7 to 8 types of fluid flow, okay. So first is steady and unsteady flow, second is uniform and non-uniform flow, third is laminar and turbulent flow, then compressible and incompressible flow, then comes the rotational and irrotational flow, and lastly comes the 1, 2 and 3 dimensional flow, okay. So these are the types of the fluid flow. Out of this, in our syllabus only the laminar and turbulent flow is mentioned, okay. So what is the laminar flow now? We will discuss its definition, its examples, okay. So what is a laminar flow? A flow in which each fluid particle moves along a well defined path, okay. what is happening over here? So each particle of the fluid, it is moving in a straight line, okay, and it does not cross over each other, okay. If suppose a particle is having, or it is defined, it has defined its path, then it will travel in its own path, okay. It will not uh, disturb, or it will not come across the path of the different molecule, okay. So that is, we call it as the laminar flow or streamline flow, okay. Then this is the diagram for the laminar flow. Over here you can see each particle, the blue line is showing the path of the particle, okay. So the dotted lines, the first particle will move in that line, then again the second particle is moving from the second line, and number of particles as so on, okay. Number of particles will move with their own path, okay, and those paths of each particle are independent path, or you can say each path of the particle is parallel to each other, okay. There is no connection of any single path with the other path, okay. So that's why it is called as streamline flow, or you can say laminar flow, okay. Now how can we decide if the flow is laminar, or if the flow is, the next type of this is turbulent flow, okay. So how to decide it? So for that we have to calculate the Reynolds number, okay. In order to get details on this Reynolds number, you will have to watch my different video on YouTube, okay. In that video I have explained how to find out Reynolds number, okay. So coming back to the slides, if the Reynolds number lies between 0 to 2000, okay, Reynolds number, it is a dimensionless quantity, okay, that's why unit will not be there. And if the Reynolds number, value of the Reynolds number lie in between 0 to 2000, then we can call that flow as the laminar flow, okay. And if the Reynolds number is greater than 2000, okay, so that type of flow is different type of flow, okay. I will explain it one by one. So the examples of this laminar flow are, for example, first the flow of oil in the bearings, okay. You may have seen ball bearings, okay. So ball bearings are nothing but the, if suppose two parts are there, okay, or let us consider two shafts are there, okay, and these two shafts will, or the two shafts require, suppose sometimes of in some examples the two shafts will uh, or they, some structure is there, and that structure requires the support, okay. So in order to get that support, we will have to install bearings, okay. So bearing is nothing but one of the frictionless parts, okay, and we will have to provide some amount of oil in between the contact surface of the balls and the bearings, okay. So the that contact surface, or oil flowing through that contact surface, will flow with this laminar flow, okay. Or you can say another example is flow in pipes at low velocities, okay. Suppose water is flowing through the pipe, and water is having very less velocity, then that flow, we can call that flow as the laminar flow, okay. And again example is the flow of air over the wings of aeroplane, okay. So that type of flow, again it is a laminar flow, okay. Again one of the common examples or day-to-day examples of this laminar flow is nothing but our toothpaste, okay. When we press or when we want to brush our teeth, what we do? We just squeeze the toothpaste pocket, so that what will happen? The paste or toothpaste comes out from its opening. Okay, so that type of flow is nothing but laminar flow. Okay, so basically what concept to understand here is that laminar flow will not cross the path of the molecules. Okay, every molecule or every particle of the fluid will have its separate path. Okay, and that path is parallel to the paths of the different molecules coming from that pipe section. Okay, so that is nothing but the laminar flow. Then comes the next type of flow is the turbulent flow. Okay, so in this turbulent flow, so this is the definition. So the flow in which the fluid particles do not have a fixed path. Okay, exactly opposite as that of the laminar flow. In laminar flow, each particle was having a fixed path. Okay, or it is having its own path. Okay, over here the fluid particles do not have a fixed path. Okay, and the particles come over each other. Okay, there is no any fixed you can say there is no any fixed direction, or you can say there is no any fixed momentum. Okay, so that the particles will come over each other. Okay, so that type of flow we call as the turbulent flow. Okay, so for turbulent flow, Reynolds number is more than 4000. Okay, in laminar flow, Reynolds number was in between 0 to 2000, and in turbulent flow, Reynolds number lies or it is more than 4000 to so on. Okay, the upper limit of this Reynolds number is not specified for the turbulent flow, only lower limit is given, and that limit is 4000. Okay, so you may have the question that if any flow is having the intermediate number or Reynolds number in between the 2000 to 4000, then the answer for that is, if a flow or if fluid flowing through the pipe or flowing through the channel, if it is having the Reynolds number in between 2000 to 4000, then we cannot specify if the flow is laminar or turbulent. Okay, so we can call that flow as the flow in transit. Okay, so that flow, if the Reynolds number of a flow is in between 2000 to 4000, then we call that number as, or we'll call that flow as the transit fluid. Okay, transit fluid flow. So you can see the diagram for the turbulent flow. So the particle coming from the top side of the pipe, it will at the inlet the particle could be at the top side, and at the outlet the particle will have changed its direction. Okay, so there is no any specified path, that's why it is known as the turbulent flow. Okay, now examples are the water at the bottom of the waterfall. Okay, so waterfall is nothing but water is falling from some particular height or some certain height. Okay, so what will happen? So the water droplets coming from the top up to the bottom, they will change their shape. Okay, or they will change their direction. Okay, so the flow is, we cannot say the direction of the flow. Okay, or the movement of the flow. Okay, movement of the particles we cannot decide. Okay, after falling from certain height, the particles will bounce, then some particles will convert their shape from different, or there could be some showers of the water molecules. Okay, so that type of water is nothing but, or that type of flow is nothing but the turbulent flow. Then again, next example is water from the pump or turbine. Okay, so water coming out of the pump, okay, or water coming out of the centrifugal pump. Okay, pump is nothing but that we use regularly in our home or in our farms. Okay, so the for the pumping purpose we use this centrifugal pump or reciprocating pump, and in order to generate electricity we use turbines. Okay, so water coming out from this turbine or water coming out of this pump, it won't have any specific path, that's why it is called as the turbulent flow. Okay, now some equations are there in order to get the pressure difference or velocity difference, or sometime discharge. In order to find the discharge, there are some equations that are uh, prescribed in your syllabus copy. Okay, so first equation or first formula is nothing but Hagen-Poiseuille's formula or Hagen-Poiseuille's equation, you can say. Okay, so what is that equation, that we will discuss in our upcoming videos. So one derivation is there. Okay, and using that derivation, so one simplified formula is there. Okay, so from that formula we can find out the pressure difference or discharge. Okay, so first of all we will see what is this equation. So this is the equation derived by Hagen and Poiseuille somewhere in the 18th century, I think 18th or 19th century. So this equation, these two scientists have derived this equation, that's why their name is given. Okay, and they have derived this equation for the laminar flow. Okay, so using this equation we can find change in pressure, then head lost due to the friction in pipe, or we can find again discharge. Okay, so etc terms we can find out using this Hagen's and Poiseuille's equation. Okay, what is that equation? So the first equation is nothing but, or these are the two different forms of equation. So in this, delta P is nothing but change in pressure. Okay, I will explain how this equation or how this formula came in my uh, next upcoming videos. Okay, so this delta P is nothing but pressure difference. Right now just assume that this is the pressure difference. Okay, in the derivation you will come to know what exactly this pressure difference is. Okay, then pressure difference is equal to 8 times mu into Q into L divided by pi r raised to 4. Okay, or if I want to find out discharge Q, then this is the formula. Okay, so Q is nothing but discharge. Discharge is nothing but amount of water collected in certain amount of time. Okay, so you may have studied or you may have calculated those problems depending on in your school days. So there is one tap is there and water is coming out of the tap, and one bucket is placed below that tap. Okay, so let us consider in 1 minute that water collected in that bucket will be, let us consider 5 liters of water will be collected in 1 liter. So in our engineering language or in our technical language we can say that the discharge of that tap or discharge or water coming out of that tap will have, or it is having the discharge of 5 liters per minute. Okay, if certain tap or water coming out of the tap for 1 minute, okay, and the water coming out, amount of water coming out of that tap is, let us consider, 5 liters, then discharge is 5 liters per minute. Okay, so that is the discharge, and we can find out the value of discharge using this formula. So discharge Q is equal to delta P into pi into r raised to 4 divided by 8 into mu into L. Okay, so what are these terms that I will say, or I will tell you. So delta P is nothing but pressure difference. 8 comes from the constant, or it is coefficient of, uh, you can say it is a constant term, it is not a coefficient. Then mu is our weight density. Okay, then comes the Q is nothing but the discharge, then L is nothing but length of the pipe, then pi is again a constant term, and r is nothing but radius of the pipe. Okay, so these are the same terms, or the same terms are used in the second equation also. So I am going to explain how this derivation, or how this Hagen-Poiseuille's equation came in the next video. Okay, in that video I will be explaining the complete derivation of this Hagen's and Poiseuille's equation. Okay, so the next comes the Darcy's and Weisbach's formula, or Darcy and Weisbach's equation. Okay, so this equation, Hagen's and Poiseuille's equation, is basically for the laminar flow, and this Darcy's equation or Darcy's formula is for the turbulent flow. Okay, so what is this equation, or what is the formula that we will study? So Darcy's Weisbach formula or equation is an empirical equation which relates the head loss or pressure loss. Again, in the previous equation, or on the previous slide, we have discussed the pressure loss or change in pressure equation. Again, here the change in pressure or pressure loss, the equation is about the pressure loss again. Okay, due to the friction along the given length of pipe to the average velocity of the flow for an incompressible fluid. Okay, so this is the Darcy's Weisbach's equation, or Darcy's equation, you can simply say. So this equation can be applied for laminar as well as turbulent flow to find out the head loss during the friction. Okay, so this is the formula, or Darcy's formula, you can say, which tells that HF is equal to 4FLV square divided by 2GD, or further modifications in the formula are HF is equal to HF is equal to FLQ square divided by 12 times D raised to 5. Okay, so using this formula we can find out the HF. HF is nothing but head lost due to friction in the pipe. Okay, what are these terms? HF, then F, L, V, then G and D. That is nothing but, HF is nothing but head loss due to friction. Okay, the internal surface of pipe will be, we don't know how the internal surface of the pipe is having. Okay, the pipe, maybe some disturbances are there, or sometimes the material or inner surface of the pipe, that will not be regular. Okay, there could be some impurities, or there could be some stones. Okay, so that's why there will be head loss. Okay, head loss is nothing but the energy the water is having, or water is carrying, it is getting reduced. Okay, so that's why we term this or we call this term as the head loss. Okay, indirectly you can say if the head is losing, water is losing the head, so its meaning is that water is losing the energy. Okay. Then F is nothing but, over here it is the coefficient of friction. Then again L is length of the pipe. Then V is velocity, or you can say average velocity in the pipe. Okay. Then G is nothing but acceleration due to gravity, and D is nothing but diameter of the pipe. Okay. Again, what is the difference in the next is only the Q. Q is nothing but the discharge. Remaining terms are the same. Okay. Over here capital D is denoted, over here small d is denoted. The D is nothing but diameter of the pipe. Okay. So these are the two different equations for laminar as well as turbulent flow. So that is Darcy's and Weisbach's equation, and previous equation was Hagen's and Poiseuille's equation. That equation was only for laminar flow. On the contrary, Darcy's equation or Darcy's Weisbach's formula is for laminar as well as turbulent flow. Okay. What are these laminar flow? What are this turbulent flow? Then the Hagen-Weisbach's Hagen-Poiseuille's formula. What is that formula? How that formula comes? Okay. Then what is this Darcy's Weisbach's formula? How this formula came? That we will study in our next class. Okay. Till then we will stop here. Okay. So if you have any difficulty or doubts, you can ask me in my comments of this video. Okay. Thank you very much for seeing this video. Please do read the description of this video below. Okay. And if you have any queries, if you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment box. Okay. Please like, share and subscribe my channel for more videos like this. Okay. Thank you very much.